Hello everybody, it's time for a channel check-in, primarily about one thing that we've been being asked about for quite some time, which is the next Trails game. And I'm happy to tell you that the next Trails game is starting tonight. Tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, God knows what time in Zimbabwe. We'll be doing the prologue of Trails Through Daybreak live on this channel. Probably going to take 2.5 to 3 hours from what I've seen from other people posting it. I've stayed away from spoilers. I've read a couple of reviews from outlets that I trust not to spoil things, and have been pleasantly surprised by the feedback so far. I think this is going to address a lot of the concerns we had by the end of Trails of Cold Steel 4. So for all the people who've been wondering when are we going to start the next Trails game, well, I mean, there's two good things. One, Daybreak is here. We'll be doing that tonight, again, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. But also, the sequel has been confirmed for the West for early next year. And considering these take us about 6 months to get through based on how we space out the videos and how much time we have to record, there's a decent chance we might just be going through both of them in succession. We'll figure that out a few months down the road once we go, once we know about what's happening more. But, I mean, what's happening here is basically this, as I shrink myself. Whoa, shrunk. Now, you're like, it's the demo. Well, part of the reason why this was delayed, because we had talked about maybe doing it the Friday after July 4th, is because I don't have the game yet. This has been pre-ordered since last October, but unfortunately, I got it through Amazon, and by the time I realized when it had shipped, it had an arrival date of July 10th. Don't know what happened there or why it was so far behind. Yes, technically I could return it once I got it, but that's a big pain in the ass, and I have not had a lot of spare time right now. So instead, we're just going to let this rock as is. And what's nice about the demo, from what I understand, on PS4 and PS5, is that this covers not only the prologue, but also the first chapter of the game. And then, of course, just like in the last couple Cold Steel games that had demos, you can keep that progress and continue it during the regular game. So that's what we're going to do here. This allows us to at least get started. And then by the time I get the full game on Wednesday, hell, even if we have a chance to record some episodes, we can do that in the demo. And then we'll be set up to go in the weeks ahead. So that's essentially where we're at. When's the next Trails game? Today, tonight. You'll see the video pop up maybe a couple hours before we go live. I encourage you to join us. We'll have the chat on the screen. We'll be responding to folks. Some of y'all have been watching these videos for a while. When you think back to when we had Michaela playing these for the first time, that was like 7 years ago now, I think. And I do think that switching from Trails for a bit was the best choice. Yes, we could have played the last game that came out. But, you know, I'm sort of glad we didn't. We talked about this a little bit in the Final Fantasy 16 credits and stuff like that. A little bit of burnout. Partially our own fault for replaying 1 and 2 when the re-releases came out on PS4. But even then, these are long games. In some ways, that's a really good thing. But it also is very story-driven, very formulaic at times. And we did feel like 3 and 4 lost their way at certain points. At their peaks, they were really, really good, and they delivered on the storytelling and the character building that we liked. What I'm most excited about here with Daybreak is the fact that we're starting over. Yes, obviously, playing the earlier games is going to show up. There's going to be other characters, other names, regions, etc. But it's a brand new cast that we get to build from scratch, especially our main characters here that are on the screen. So that's the part I'm most excited about, and from what I've told, like, Van's a really good protagonist. I like the fact that he's a little bit older. I think they're going to probably riff on him being old too much because it's a JRPG, so if you're 22 years old or up, you're ancient. But nonetheless, I'm really excited. And I think now that it's finally here, it's rejuvenated me even more to where now I'm really happy to be playing this. Before we would have done it because we know fans enjoy it and we want to make sure we're catering to that to some extent. I'm not saying we would have done it begrudgingly or we would have hated it. But now I don't have any reservations. I'm really excited to get this thing started. So for the last time, I will plug it. Join us tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live for probably 2 to 3 hours as we go through this, chatting along with you in the chat. And, you know, as far as other projects go, I mean, this is going to be the main thing on the channel for probably the remainder of the year or thereabouts. Again, probably take us somewhere at least 4 months to go through. We are going to still do that Super Mario music list we mentioned. That should be getting recorded in a couple weeks now that I finally have some spare time. So that's still coming if you were excited about that. And that's kind of it. The Fabula Ultima series is going to continue. We already have, another half dozen episodes in the can and just did more today. So we have a lot of things coming down the pipeline. Viewership's been up recently. We appreciate all of you out there. If for some reason you've been following these videos and you haven't already, like and subscribe. I don't hoard myself out often. But, you know, the algorithm is the algorithm, and the more people that watch, the more we might be able to do more videos like these. So thank you for watching. If you're going to join us tonight, we'll see you there. And if not, of course, you can watch the video on demand after the fact. But if you've been waiting all this time, get excited, because about 7 hours after this goes live, we'll be starting Trails Through Daybreak. See you then.